Obviously, we're not physically together, but there's no reason why Spirit can't communicate over the internet.
Let's start off with Host. Wrote and directed this obviously amazingly scary movie. Tell us what that was like for you.
It was basically a way of staying sane during the lockdown. You know, I was just about to direct this big TV show, and then a couple of weeks before we were about to shoot, the lockdown happened. So I was stuck inside with all this creative energy, and it was just amazing, really, to have a creative outlet during the lockdown when we weren't allowed to leave our houses, to be able to connect with my friends who were the actors in the movie and the people who helped out behind the scenes.
What was that? Amy, was that you?
I heard it.
I heard something. I think there's something here.
Do you see that?
It was really just a joyous thing to make the film, and then to have it kind of catch on to the zeitgeist in such a way was unexpected, to say the least.
Angela!
Off the back of Host, we wanted to just jump straight into another movie, and DASHCAM was an idea that we'd been playing with for a while, based around Annie, the lead, and her show that she really does in real life. We always thought that'd be an amazing setup for a horror movie. And we actually come up with this idea before the pandemic, this idea that Annie would pick up this elderly woman and be asked to drive her from point A to point B.
You know, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm actually a really good person.
So we were looking for something to do after Host, and we thought, oh, DASHCAM actually has become more interesting in the wake of the pandemic. The idea of somebody who's flouting the COVID restrictions, picking up an elderly woman who, you know, that's the age group that we're told are at risk, and the kind of added tension that COVID and lockdown would bring to that. It felt kind of provocative, and it felt interesting, and it felt like the next thing we should do.
We definitely saw political extremism and anti-vax. Why did you feel it was important to really tie all of that together?
Well, it was interesting. We shot this movie in the winter of 2020, but it was made really as a way of encapsulating what it felt like to be around at that time, coming out of lockdown, entering into the vaccine conversation. It was made in the wake of the Trump-Biden election, where it felt like everyone on the internet was shouting at each other, and everyone was angry, and everyone was righteous. And so we wanted to make a movie that kind of reflected that, and felt like it was very loud and very in your face and very kind of argumentative, just to kind of plant a flag and say, this is what it felt like. It was a very weird time.
The trailer doesn't give much away. It's chaos.
She found us! She's here!
And exactly what horror fans, I feel, need right now. So why do you feel that viewers and fans should go see this film?
This film is really meant to be a celebration of being in the same room together, being in the same space together. It's meant to be meant to be a communal experience watching this movie. It certainly was for us when we made it. It was really just an amazing feeling to be back in a space with creative people again. And the idea was that's an experience that was meant to carry over to how people watch this movie. That Host was a movie that you watch under the covers on your own during lockdown. And this movie is meant to be seen in the cinema with a rowdy crowd. It's meant to be the kind of movie that encourages you to yell at the screen and laugh out loud and look to the person next to you to check if that really just happened. It comes out June 3rd. It's really the kind of movie that if you enjoy it, if you had a great time in the cinema, please encourage people to go and see it in the cinema.
I heard that you're doing another film adaptation with Stephen King, so you must be super excited about all the things in the works.
Well, I mean, like you say, I've just finished shooting on this Stephen King movie, so we're in the edit on that at the moment, and I think, touch wood, it's turned out really beautifully, and I'm really proud of it. It's a very different kind of movie from Host and DASHCAM, and I like being able to jump within different subgenres of horror and surprise people. Very scary, but it's very emotional, and I think people are going to be blown away by the performances.
So what was it like to work with Stephen King?
Scary to work with Stephen King. He's super supportive, and he read a draft of the script that he was really thrilled by, and he hasn't really seen anything since then. It's interesting because we've taken a short story of his and we've kind of made it our own thing while staying true to the short story. So I was very anxious that he was on board with our changes, and he's been really supportive and encouraging, and I wouldn't have been able to go ahead with it had he not been 100% behind it.